guys, it's Katie and welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my May TBRs, all the books that I plan on reading in the month of May. I'm going on holiday on the 16th of May all the way up to the 24th of May, so I'm hoping that I can get some reading done whilst there, like whilst I'm on the plane, whilst I'm out travelling about, and you know, if I'm sitting at home, let's say there's like some sort of thunderstorm, because I don't know if Bulgaria gets thunderstorms, but you know, I could be sitting inside reading. So I'm going to be bringing a couple of books as well as my Kindle there, so I would like to share with you the books that I plan on reading in May. So hopefully I can just catch up with my Goodreads goal in May, and then that would just be totally awesome. So the first book that I'm going to mention on my TBR is going to be my next and current read, and that is The Beautiful and the Cursed by Paige Morgan, and this is the first book that is in this trilogy, and this goes towards my TBR challenge to read an old review book. I actually got this book like a couple of years ago whilst at the Hotkey Books event, and they pitched it to me and said it was absolutely awesome, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to read it. I've got all the books that are in the trilogy as well, and it was just sort of like described like a hot gargoyle romance, and I'm just like, oh my god, that just sounds pretty damn awesome, and I just have a massive urge to give it a read, so I thought I would put this book towards that challenge. My next TBR challenge is to read a book that's in a series, and for this one I put Heir of Fire by Sarah J Maas, which is the third book that is in the series, and I need to catch up with everybody because I'm so far behind, but I'm actually really enjoying this so far because I'm kind of listening to this on audiobook, but I feel like I'm going to give this book a read as well, but it's such a massive hefty sort of book, so it might take me like the whole month to listen to, but I'm definitely enjoying it so far. My TBR challenge for this month is for me to pick and read an ebook from my ebook TBR jar, which I picked out, and the book that I picked out was My Painful Confession by Priscilla M. Castro. It's actually a really short ebook. I don't know if you can see that without the shiny shimmer there, but it is I believe a self-published novel actually, but it's very short, which is ideal actually because it would be nice to get a short ebook read in May. The adult book that I would like to read in May, I've decided to go with 50 Shades Darker by E.L. James, which is the second book that is in this trilogy, and reason being I started reading it, and before starting a new book I was just like, I need to finish the books that I started reading and haven't completed yet, and then I can sort of pick new ones, and I'm like 60-ish pages through this, like 50 pages, okay, 50 pages, so I was near enough right, and I still remember everything that's going on, and I was actually really enjoying it when I was starting to read it, so it would be good if I could actually get more into this book and get it completed in May. Then I've got a book that I'm doing a blog tour on, which is a review piece, and that is for Noah Can't Even by Simon James Green, who I've met at the actual publishing event, and I remember when they were talking about the cover of this and how they were pitching it, and this book just sounds really awesome. I actually purchased it from Waterstone, so at least I'm giving the author credit as well as the publisher, and yeah, I'm super excited. I feel like this is going to be a really hilarious sort of book, and I look forward to beginning this soon. So this I'll probably start after my next current read so I can get my review post up. Then the book that I have selected out of my 17 books list to read in 2017, I've picked out The Call by Piedar O'Guilin, and this book just sounds really interesting and different, and that's purely why I picked this one as well. I was sort of looking at the list of like, which one do I feel like reading next out of this list, and I feel like reading this sort of like mysterious sort of book. I'm more into reading these sort of like weird and crazy sort of books at the moment, so I feel like I'm going to actually really enjoy this, and I'm honestly looking forward to it. Then a book that I have chosen to reread this month is Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion. I read this when I first actually started BookTube, so that was like 5 years ago, and there is a sequel that's out as well as like a prequel, which I haven't actually read yet, so I would like to reread this, and then I can read the prequel and the sequel, because my boyfriend kind of like wants to read this book as well because he thinks it sounds like really interesting, so I want to get this reread and then let him give it a read and see what he thinks about it. But yeah, I'm super excited to give this a reread. And then I've got a couple of review books to get around to reading, the first of which is The Lines We Cross by Randa Abdel Fattah, and the other one is I Have No Secrets by Penny Jolson. And both of these books actually come out in May, so that is why I put these on my May TBR so I can get these read. And these both just sound like really interesting and different and unique. And this one is basically about Gemma, who has severe cerebral palsy. She finds it hard to communicate or move and relies on her family and her carer for everything, and she has a sharp brain and inquisitive nature, knows all sorts of things about everyone, but when she's confronted with a terrible secret she's utterly powerless to do anything, though that might be about to change. And this one is about Michael and Mina, and they're on opposite sides because his parents are part of an anti-immigration group, but her family are basically fleeing from their home in Afghanistan, so it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet sort of situation. And this one just sounds really like intriguing, so I'm looking forward to giving these a read in May. Now I'm going to do a sort of live pulling out of my TBR jar of my own books, because I always like to pick a book out of my TBR jar. I'm just going to get a mix because there's some recent books that I've put on top, and one's just fallen out, and I'm going to dig my hand in and I'm going to pull out one. I'm going to go with this one right here. So the one that I pulled out is ... Picture Me Gone by Meg Rossoff. I should quickly go find that now. And here it is, Picture Me Gone by Meg Rossoff. It's quite a short sort of book actually, and it's like less than 200 pages, so that's pretty interesting. And I read the book How I Live Now by Meg Rossoff, which I actually really enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to giving this a read and seeing what this book is like. So there you have it guys, these are all the books that I have mentioned on my May TBR. Hopefully I can get around to reading at least 4 of these, because I've already read one book, and that was on the 1st of May, and today is the 3rd, so it'll be good to read at least 4 more of these babies and hopefully get some reading done whilst I'm on holiday. But other than that, let me know if you read any of these books, let me know what your May TBR is, and keep smiling, keep reading and be happy. My name is Katie and I'll see all of you wonderful awesome people in my next video. Bye!